G'day team, welcome back to the mill build. I've discovered a slight problem. This thing here is going to be my radiator for the water cooling loop for the spindle. It's a 360mm radiator by 120mm. It's got 3 cooling fans on it, all hooked up to a single wire. That part's good. I've even tested it and they all spin in the right direction. The problem comes in here. So, this is the water inlet and water outlet, or Vicky Verco, depending on how you want to run it. It is 1/4 inch BSPP. So, British standard pipe, parallel, not tapered, doesn't lock, doesn't need an O-ring at the top of it. This here is our 5mm ID cooling hose that'll take the water from the spindle through the radiator and then back. So it'll go reservoir, pump, spindle, radiator, back to reservoir. That's the cooling loop. That's the way it should work. Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a 5mm barb fitting that's 1/4 inch BSPP? I've been looking and I cannot find any. I found BSP tapered that I could buy, and they're 3/16 of an inch, which I think is around about 5mm, about 4 and a bit actually. But they're tapered, so they're not designed to have an O-ring to seal them, which means that they won't actually seal in this. Which then means that I can't actually seal the whole radiator, and it's just all bad. So, this sounds like the kind of job that you need to have a lathe for. Funnily enough, I do have a lathe, and I have some conveniently placed raw stock. I'm just going to bite the bullet and make them. Stay around. Let's see how it goes. So I've knocked up a design in Fusion 360. It's got pretty good CAM functionality, so I can do toolpaths for the lathe nice and easily. I could do it as like conversational programming, but I just wanted to practice actually doing a model design, then making toolpath off that model, and then going from there. It requires 40mm of raw stock for each part. It's a bit oversized, a bit of overkill, but I'm okay with that because I just wanted to get it done and be able to grip in the middle, and you'll see why I'm doing that later on. Step 1, stock prep. I don't know if I've told you this all before, but I hate hand tools. There's 2 bits, they're not square. Let's go to the CNC. So we've got our parts here, and they're actually looking out pretty good. There's a little bit of a defect here on this one, but it's not a big deal. It's just that it slipped in the chuck initially. You can see some score marks on the side of the hex there. I didn't tighten it up. Didn't eat my Weet-Bix that morning. But they're good. the back end of them looks really good, so it's nice and clear path through there. The threads work. It's all good. Now these are British Standard Parallel Pipe, BSPP, which means that they don't actually lock into a taper like an MPT or a BSP standard would. So what we're going to do is find some kind of sealing mechanism for them. Initially I wanted to use a fibre washer and just clamp it down nice and tight on that. I don't have any in stock, or in my stock. I've got a really shitty kit from Bunnings. So what I'm going to try and do is just use one of these O-rings here, put it over, and then we can put this whole thing down and just use the O-ring like a fibre washer. It does mean though that I can't clamp it as tight as I would if I was using a fibre washer, but I honestly don't think that's going to be much of an issue. The O-ring will absorb any kind of vibration that you get from the mill. So let's put that in. Just falls down on me. And there we go. My radiator now has a water fitting on it. And just double check. Oh, hose isn't going on. No, look at that. Hose is on nicely. You can just put some kind of either small hose clamp or cable tie in the back there. It's a 4.3mm through hole. It's a 5.5 OD with a 7mm, I think, a little nodule there. It's great. I think it's going to work. We'll find out when it's all hooked up. So I'm actually really happy with how this all turned out. It's a nice little project. It's my first threading project on the lathe that's actually involving threading, like to fit in something, not just can the lathe thread, or does it look like the lathe can thread. So I'm really happy with how this has all come out. It's a great project, and I'm just looking forward to getting it done. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me stumble my way through this. I hope you've, if you have a lathe at home, don't hesitate to make your own fittings. Otherwise, thanks for watching everyone. I hope you have a good day. See you later.